Guys, we are back for another video, and today, as you can see, we are going to be discussing the Philadelphia Eagles 2021 draft class. We are going to be discussing everything from Devonta Smith, the first-round pick, to Patrick Johnson, the seventh-round pick out of Tulane. Now, before we dive into anything, we are going to break down everything from what Devonta can do in his rookie season throughout the entirety of his career to what Patrick can do from his rookie season and throughout the entirety of his career. Now, before we dive into that, please like the video and subscribe to the channel, as each only take a second to do, and it would be very much appreciated. Now let's begin. The first pick they had was wide receiver, and, I have to add this, Heisman Trophy winner Devonta Smith. And Eagles fans, I know, and you guys know I'm a Vikings fan, but you guys missed out on Justin Jefferson last year, much to the dismay of the entire fan base. The entire fan base was not very happy when they took Jalen Reagor, but I do think Howie more than made up for it the next year, as he traded up in front of the Giants, who were very much so going to take Devonta Smith if he were there. So as much as you guys like to dog Howie, I think you do have to praise him for this pick. I mean, Howie jumped a division rival, so in reality, the Eagles went from almost hating Devonta Smith for the next decade to absolutely loving him, and beyond that, the way Philly fans do for the next decade. But for Devonta's rookie year, he is going to be the wide receiver one. I don't think Travis Fulgham will be that guy. I mean, Travis had a good couple games last year, but to think he's going to outplay and outrank Devonta in his rookie year with as much hype as there's going to be, to me at least, is a little far-fetched. So I do think Devonta will be the wide receiver one from day one in the Eagles wide receiver room. And for his rookie year, statistically, I don't mean, there's obviously a limit. I'm not going to say 100 catches plus, but I would be surprised if, and this is assuming he plays all 17 games, if he finishes with less than 60 to 65 catches with at least 800 yards. I would personally be very surprised with that. Nick Sirianni, the new head coach, will surely want to get the ball in his hands, and Jalen Hurts and Devonta will surely want to reestablish the chemistry they had one time at the University of Alabama. Now, projecting Devonta's career path is a little tough, and I don't want to say, man, he's going to be the wide receiver one for 10 years, so 17 games with the added game, 1,000 catches. But what I am going to say about Devonta and his future career with the Eagles is he's going to be in a very favorable situation. He's going to be with a team that's going to get him the ball a lot, I hope the best for Miles Sanders, but I don't know if Miles is going to be a back that's going to take 300 plus touches a year, and that would truly take away from Devonta's impact on the game. And even we look at a team like the Minnesota Vikings, who have Dalvin Cook, who just had nearly a 2,000 yard year, and he may have even had a 2,000 year, I don't know off the top of my head, but Justin Jefferson still had a 1,400 yard year, and Adam Thielen had 14 touchdowns. So you look at that, and even if they do, and Miles Sanders is that player, it's not far-fetched to say Devonta Smith could have, 600 plus catches over the course of his career. We play in a very, I don't want to say stat-padded era, but we play in an era now where numbers are going to be higher than they ever were because of the emphasis on offense, and with the corners that at a extreme disposition, given that they really, they can't hand check the way they used to, and they can't get all up in guys' grills without it being a penalty. So Devonta should be in a good position to produce, and a lot of that from day one. So the Philadelphia Eagles' next pick was Landon Dickerson, a center from Alabama, and I absolutely loved this selection, not just because he's from Alabama, but because he is a unanimous All-American, he was a Remington Trophy Award winner, and a national champion. When you're getting all three of those, and especially a winner in one player in a second-round pick, I don't think you can complain about that. And not only that, but Eagles fans, you guys got the Heisman Trophy winner with the first pick that you had. Now, I understand why you would be attached to center Jason Kelce, given the bit of the folk hero he's become over the past 10 years there, from the Super Bowl speech to, and of course, being an all-pro on the field. I get that. But with Landon, you're getting, and I don't know about Landon's personality, but you're getting another good player for the next decade. Jason Kelce will be 34 at the end of this year, and there's probably a good chance he retires, or at least is very heavily considering it. And I know people would like to point to Andrew Whitworth, but Whitworth is the exception and not really the standard. He's going to be 40 years old this year, and the fact that he's still playing is nothing short of phenomenal. But Jason Kelce will be 34 years old this year, and he's not going to play until he's 44. Offensive linemen don't play as long as Tom Brady does, and you had to fill the next position. So to get a great value pick in Landon Dickerson in the second round is terrific by Philly, and I absolutely loved it. So you're getting a guy to protect your franchise quarterback, whether that is Jalen Hurts or the next guy. Landon will still be around for the next guy if Jalen Hurts turns out to not be the franchise quarterback. You're getting a guy to fill Jason Kelce's position for the next decade, along with a former Heisman Trophy winner with the first pick. So for the first two grades for the Philadelphia Eagles' first two picks, it is an A+. Next up is defensive tackle Milton Williams from Louisiana Tech, and there's a lot of reason to like this pick. He is a day 2 developmental pick, and he's 6'3", 285 pounds, and the reason why a lot of people like this pick is because he's viewed as an undersized defensive tackle that's pretty quick, and another player in the NFL that's pretty good is also viewed like that, and his name's Aaron Donald. Now, I am not making this comparison and saying, oh, Milton, physically, and he plays like Aaron Donald. Nah, that's not what I'm saying, but the size comparisons are, I don't want to say similar because Aaron Donald is barely 6 foot tall, but what I'm saying is that Eagles fans and, people that want to get hyped up for day 2 picks have said this based on size, not based on ability, because if there was any sort of ability to be between Milton and Aaron Donald, then Milton would have been taken on day 1 without a doubt, right? So there's a lot to like here for a developmental pick and, for the hype build-up, if you will, but I don't know how productive Milton's going to be at the NFL level. He's coming from Louisiana Tech. It's not like he's coming from a powerhouse in Alabama, and not that that's a bad thing, or not to say that small school guys can't succeed, because they obviously can, but you're looking at a 3rd round defensive tackle here, and a lot of the times later round guys are, there's a reason why 1st round picks succeed more often, right? They're more pro ready, and that is the case with most 1st round picks versus, 3rd round picks. So I do wish the best for Milton, but I also wouldn't be surprised if he, I don't want to say is a bust, but if he doesn't pan out at the NFL level, because, there's a lot of hype given that he physically compares to Aaron Donald, but then, actually having to live up to that hype is lofty for anybody, let alone a 3rd round rookie. But now that we are into the second half of the video, we're going to be more rapid with each pick. Now, the 4th round pick that they had was corner Zach McPherson, and to me, this pick is about what you would want in a 4th round pick. I think if Zach reaches his full potential, he's going to be an average NFL corner, and I don't think he's going to be much more than that. And that's not bad. If you get an average corner in the 4th round, then you, in theory, are getting a player that is better than 50% of the league. Now, granted, he's worse than 50% of the players at his position, but he's also better than the other 50%. So, if they get an average corner, good, but, I don't think it's anything to write home about. Now, Kenneth Gainwell, or some people have been calling him Kenny Gainwell, was their next pick following McPherson, and I do like this pick. I think Kenneth Gainwell kind of was a little undervalued by the NFL teams, and I think he slipped a little bit, and I do like his potential. And for him to back up Miles Sanders or be 3rd string or whatever, because Philly always seems to be having a lot of running backs going on at one time. Eagles fans, I think you can even agree with that, but I do like the potential here for a late, day 3 guy. And if he's going to back up Miles Sanders, if he starts ever, is going to be something entirely different, but if you get a 5th round back that has done what Kenneth Gainwell did in college, good, go for it. That's the type of pick that I would love for my franchise on day 3. And again, these are day 3, so the aspirations and expectations for each player is significantly lower than what they are for Devonta Smith or Landon Dickerson. So the next 2 picks for Philly were Marlon Tuipulotu from USC and Teron Jackson from Coastal Carolina, and I'm probably going to sound like a broken record, but these guys are late defensive lineman developmental picks. So the likelihood that either one of them are going to have 10 sacks in a season ever, and especially for Marlon, given that he's defensive tackle, we could go more for pressures, versus sacks, but it's low, all right? They were selected this late for a reason, so when you get this late, you hope for late developmental guys that can maybe turn in a couple starts here or there, and what I would hope for each of these guys is, they become contributive to the Eagles roster, and the Eagles won the 2017 Super Bowl not just, due to BDN. They had a pass rush that was immense, and they had a pass rush that was, it would just seem like it was never stopping. They had so many guys, from Chris Long to Fletcher Cox to Brandon Graham, and by the way, I didn't say Chris Long first because he was the best, but what I'm saying is if either of these guys can contribute to a Super Bowl run, it would be because they would be good depth pieces. So I'm going to sound like a broken record again, I know that, but that's what you're looking for late in the draft with these type of guys, and they get good high motor players in each of these players, and if either of them work out, good for the Eagles. If not, then it was a 5th and a 6th round pick. The final 2 picks for today's video were Jacoby Stevens from LSU and Patrick Johnson from Tulane, and these are late developmental picks. So for Jacoby first, I would say that's a pretty good, guy to try out and just see what happens at camp. He's definitely more than just a camp body, but I would say it's a good guy to try out. He's 6'1", 215, can play safety and linebacker both, so, see if he can play one, see if it sticks, whatever, right? And then Patrick Johnson, you get a good 3-time all-conference player with a good high motor, a 2nd-team All-American in 2020. So you get a player with, some notoriety from college, if you will, and he's a 3-time all-conference player. Granted, it was not the SEC, but these were 6th and 7th round picks for a reason. So if any of the last 4 players pan out in today's video for the Eagles, then good for them, and good for the scouts for getting them right. But what I do want to say about the Eagles draft as we wrap today's video up is I absolutely love Devonta Smith and Landon Dickerson. I think those players are going to be starters for this team for at least the next 7 to 10 years, and I cannot emphasize how much I love those picks. I mean, Devonta, I said at the beginning, he probably will have at least 600 catches, if not more, in his career. I mean, this is all barring injury, of course, but Landon Dickerson will be on this line till probably at least 2030, and when you get a starter for the next 10 years, I don't know how you could actually come out of a draft and say, you know what, that pick sucked. But anyways, that's all I have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world, and until next time, have a great day. Love you guys. Deuces.